let's dig a little bit further. Now, we can't get into this conversation entirely and exhaust it all because there's so much to it. But talk to me about priorities. What could we do? We have time. That's the one thing that we seem to have in abundance right now, whether we like it or not. It's a little bit of time. So what could we do with that time?
Yeah, so I love how you said loving God, loving others, loving self, because really we can simplify that whole analogy to those three things. And isn't it amazing that God gave us the ability to work on multiple aspects of our health at the same time? You know, I'm sitting still before God and practicing focused attention for my mental health and my spiritual health. And then I go out in the world and anyway, I'm getting on a rant. Priorities, loving God, loving others, loving ourselves. And that means protecting those things, setting boundaries around them, letting go of certain things that get in the way or threaten them. And if that feels overwhelming to introduce several practices, start very small, because in mental health, one little shift is like a positive domino game, right? So, if I can just use this season to have more sleep. I've decluttered my mind. It has some more bandwidth and space to do the other important things. And then when I get that domino game in my favor, then I habitualize them. I put them into the rhythms of my life so that I don't have to use my mental energy to focus and work so hard at them. They're just part of my pattern of living. So that when stressors come my way, I have more resilience to deal with them. So starting small, focusing on those priorities, letting go of expectations that threaten those priorities. Our unrealistic expectations, don't worry, we all have them, could fall into the following three camps. They usually fall into these three things. A need to control or have our preferences met all the time. A need for affection or affirmation in all the things that I do. Or a need for security in managing every risk all the time. And that one particularly is hitting hard right now, isn't it? So those expectations can distract us from our priorities of loving God, and loving others, and loving ourselves. And so, and I guess just pan back, what does that look like? Well, if I'm loving God with my whole self, I'm connected to my whole self. What am I feeling in this moment? What's that about? Let's connect to God about that. Am I loving others? Am I noticing what they might need? Whether they're saying it, whether they're behaving in a certain way. Can I use the Holy Spirit's direction to grasp what they need and help them as I can and as is appropriate, loving our neighbors? And in myself, am I loving my instrument? Am I in tune with what my needs might be? And then am I able to articulate or communicate in some way how I could get some help from other people?